This is a Belfast Film Festival podcast. Hello and welcome to The Conversation. Today we're in the maritime heart of Belfast, the historic Titanic quarter. This is Queen's Island, where Harland and Wolff was located, the shipyard which built the great ocean liners Titanic and Olympic. 100 years on, we're not building ships down here anymore, but we're making movies. And we have our very own film studio, the Paint Hall Studios, thanks to Northern Ireland Screen. And today I'm very lucky to be having a tour of the studio with the construction manager, Tom Martin. So Tom, very nice to meet you. Thanks very much for inviting us down here to the Paint Hall Studios. Now, when we think of film studios, we think of Hollywood, California. Now, on a day like this, we actually could be in Hollywood, California. It's actually quite a beautiful day, but we're outside the building here. So if you could describe to me the building here from the outside.
Well, good morning, Brian. Well, the Paint Hall Studios are basically four very large cells. They were called paint cells. They were used for painting ships throughout the 70s. Each cell is about 135 foot square by 90 foot tall inside, which is very unusual to have that type of height, and works great for us on some of the sets, really. And another great advantage down here is the doors open up completely, giving us an opening at the front by 120 foot wide by 65 foot tall. So it enables us to build large sets inside, you know, shoot night or shoot against green screen, and then wheel them outside and shoot against real sky.
I mean, from the outside, it's not the most beautiful building in the world, not the most aesthetic building, but from a practical point of view, it certainly is.
It's a bit of a monster from the outside, and it doesn't look like very much, to be quite honest. And as we do more and more jobs here, we're going to get some branding going on and make it look more like a studio and a bit more attractive.
Yes, because we think of those Hollywood studios when you come driving through Paramount or Columbia. Are you thinking of something like that, perhaps?
Well, maybe one day, but all of those studios, Pinewood Studios, Shepperton Studios, and the ones in America, they've been going over 100 years. You know, they didn't start off looking like that.
Well, as you say, it would be easy for people in Belfast to actually pass this building and not know what it's used for. But you can see these huge sides, which are two massive doors, which open entirely up. Now when you come over, the actual entrance in is just a single doorway. It's so unassuming, but amazing to walk in here. So now I'm going to walk in to the Paint Hall Studios. Wow, this is incredible. You come walking in through that little door, and here we are, the magic of the film studio. This is quite incredible. There's obviously work going on. Lots of work going on all around us.
You see, it's a warren of hallways.
Yes, it certainly is. My word, to find your way around in here. Now, obviously, there's been films have been here. City of Embers was probably the first big film to come here. And then there was Occupation, I know, shot here. And then there was also Your Highness.
Yeah, Your Highness was shot here. We used the four cells on Your Highness. We linked two of the cells together to create Great Hall, and then linked through to an outside courtyard, castle courtyard. And with having the doors this size, it's enabled us to open up the doors so the courtyard went outside as well. So we had the choice. We could sometimes shoot real sky if the weather suited, or close the doors and shoot against green screen when it suited us. But that's worked good so far. We've probably, in the last 2.5 years I've been here, we've probably only lost about 3 days actually to weather. That can happen anywhere.
Now, obviously, one of the challenges of a space this size is noise for any film shoot wanting to come here. And I mean, this could be a hugely echoey space. It was never built for noise in any regard. So what was the challenge of that?
Well, that was quite challenging because we had like a 4-second reverb, but we've now improved on that greatly. It's down to 1.3 seconds. We've hung acoustic drapes all the way round each cell, coming down 18 metres, and that solved the problem.
I'm
Have a little look in this one.
Okay, we're going to have a look in one of the other 4 cells, which are vast, absolutely vast. It's almost 4 film studios in one, really. Oh wow, what an amazing set this is. Wow, incredible. Well, I mean, we're here in one of the sets, which is a major build here. Just tell me about the different types of workers that you would have working on a set like this.
Right, well, we start off with carpenters. We've got scaffolders, we've got modelers, fibrous plasterers, scenic artists, scenic painters, metal workers, an entire range of tradesmen working on something like this. Like in total, last year we probably had over 150 construction working purely on film sets.
Which is incredible. And when you think of the economy and the downturn for a lot of these guys here, they probably could never imagine that this is the kind of work that they would be getting.
No, I'm not at all. I'm sure when they started off, they all started off their various trades, but none of them had the film industry in mind.
Now, from your own background, Tom, tell me how you got into this job. How did you begin in the film industry?
My uncle started in the film industry in the early 60s in London, and I started in 1990, and I've been in it since and relocated to Northern Ireland 2 years ago.
From that time, 1990, what were some of the films that you would have worked on during that period?
Oh, started off, I suppose the first feature film was The Crying Game. And then we done quite a long time on the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, and then films like Circle of Friends, Braveheart, Mission Impossible, Bourne Ultimatum.
In regard to the paint hall, what kind of reaction have you had, from the people who have come here from America? What has their reaction been to this film studio in Belfast?
Well, the reaction to Belfast in general has been fantastic. Absolutely, everyone that comes here can't wait to get back, which is great. Like, we've got hardly any changes in our crew from season 1 to season 2 on the project we're working on at the moment, and that's really encouraging and great to see. They love working with all the local crews. It's really terrific, really positive, and they love the paint halls as well. They love the fact that we're in a thriving city, but in 10 minutes we can be out into the countryside, the beautiful rolling countryside. I don't think there's anywhere else in the world you can have that if you're in the film industry, close to a studio in the city, but 10 minutes from beautiful locations. Now when producers talk about where they're going to make a film, it's Shepperton Studios, Pinewood Studios, they now say Paint Hall Studios as well. It's definitely on the map.
Is this the actual roof of the paint hall itself? Is that the old roof?
Yeah, that is the old original roof from the paint halls. And you can see the carriages, the buggies for the paint carriages. The paint carriages have been removed now,
yes,
for safety point of view. The buggies are still up there, and those buggies would have moved along the rails and lowered the guys in the carriages down to paint the ships at various heights.
It's amazing to think when you're in this spot here, you can actually imagine the ship being wheeled in here and it being painted, as you say, from the roof. And we have little doors along the side here where the men would have came out. And you get a real sense of what you encountered when you first came here in all the cells. It's hard to imagine in some of the other cells now.
Like when you walk in here first and the cells are empty, they look absolutely huge because, you're standing 6 foot tall looking up to the ceiling 90 foot above you. And it looks a lot different now. When you put the sets in, it closes everything down a lot. And perhaps after a couple of years of looking at it, it sort of grows in you. It's not as tall any longer, but when you first walk in, it's very impressive.
Now, it's okay to have a building like this and this size and scale, but you need other facilities, obviously, here for a film crew to come and work. So what else did you have to do to this building to make it workable as a studio?
Well, to the building, we had to upgrade the power, which has been a great help. We've also had to build quite a lot of workshops around the building because there's a lot of different departments apart from construction, costume, armoury, several different departments. Props need a lot of space. So we've built quite a few workshops for all of those departments, and each year we build more.
And it's interesting when we were outside and you saw the Titanic Quarter. I mean, it's starting to really develop now. We have the Signature Building, which is going to open next year, and there's going to be a lot more visitors and tourists and everything coming down to just basically right beside you.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a hotel at the end of the road and a new apartment block which has just been finished, which a lot of our crew stay in, which is terrific. They're 5 minutes from work and 5 minutes from being in the city, so it's working very well.
Yeah, because I remember being down here maybe even 5 years ago, and it was a complete ghost town. It really was an eerie kind of a feeling. There was no life about the place, but that has been transformed.
Oh, absolutely. And when the college opens up, the amount of students down in the Titanic Quarter, that's going to bring a lot of life to it as well.
That's right. There's the Belfast Metropolitan College is going to open just across the road. But you might be tortured by these media students, Tom, who want to come in here.
Possibly, but
but that's a great thing for them, obviously.
Looking forward to that as well. It's a great way of meeting new people and bringing new energy into the industry.
Indeed, that's what we need. The next generation have it all in front of them with all this here. That's for sure.
Do you want to take a walk over to our workshop?
Okay, yes, that'd be great. We're just walking out the back of the studio here, and right in front of us is one of the giant cranes of Harland and Wolff. I can never tell if it's Samson or Goliath. I don't know if you know which is which.
I don't know. Can I introduce you to someone?
Yes, of course.
All right, Tom. Brian, this is Tommy Spence.
Tommy.
Tommy's been working down on the studio's site since City of Ember. He's been here a couple of years before me, and he knows absolutely everything about it, everything about the site. And I'm sure he probably knows the difference between Samson and Goliath as well. I'm not quite sure.
Now, this is the question for you. I'm looking at one of the giant cranes. Is that Samson or Goliath?
Samson's the one always on the left-hand side.
Okay.
Glass one up the yard a bit there.
I see. Now, that's how you know a proper shipyard worker, is if they know which is Samson or Goliath.
I'm not working on the film sets. That's where I would be, down in the ship repair down the road there.
Oh, really?
That's all right.
Now tell me this, did you ever imagine when you started off in your work that you'd be working in a film studio in Belfast?
Never. I came in here through an agency, brushing floors, about 6 or 7 years ago. And I just worked my way up and became a stagehand. And I've been on building sites all my life, and it's amazing.
And what is the difference between a building site and working on a film site?
Well, you can actually, building sites just a daily thing you're in, and you have a time to go home at. Here you could be here all day, and it's exciting. It's seeing stars, seeing new people, and met loads of new friends from England, America and stuff like that, which I wouldn't have met.
And if you can you tell us about some of the projects that you have worked on here at the Paint Hall?
I've worked on City of Ember, which was a big movie. Bill Murray on it. I've worked on Your Highness, and I've done the second season of the Game of Thrones.
And what do you think this is going to do for the city of Belfast, having a film studio here on Queen's Island?
Well, the whole thing about being in Belfast is that it brings work in, it brings hotels get a turn. A lot of restaurants, bars, taxis, just brings loads of work for outside of the paint halls. It's builders, suppliers, shipping companies, work in general for people unemployed, a lot of unemployment about, and this generates a lot of work in Belfast.
Now, certainly when I was growing up, and certainly when you were growing up, we could never imagine that we'd be here in a film studio in Belfast. What kind of reaction do you get from people who you know about the work that you're doing?
Well, I try not to tell them how it's done for starters, because now you're sitting and watching films and you're going, well, that's not really real. I know it's exactly behind that. There's scaffolding. You just like everything else, but now you watch out for names. When you're watching old films, you watch out for names. There's a lot of guys in here from England that have obviously worked in a lot of the Pinewood studios and a lot of films, and you watch the credits now on the films and speak to people about different things and pass the word about what we do down here. And I think it's actually developed a lot of interest in the Game of Thrones in Belfast in Northern Ireland because it was actually filmed here.
And in terms of the people who come from like England and America, what do they think of Belfast? What kind of comments have you had?
I would say their first reaction, coming to Belfast, well, you don't want to go there to work, but I would say, Belfast is probably the safest city in Britain. We've had our troubles years ago, but everybody's working together now, which wouldn't happen years ago. You've Catholics and Protestants amalgamating in the film set. I never seen that inside. You're right there from the falls to Shankill, and you work there and and
Yeah, like
brought people together big time.
from our point of view, Brian, with the amount of construction we have on this site, I would have absolutely no idea between who's a Catholic and who's a Protestant, and none of our guys, UK guys, would either. And because it doesn't matter, it's not. Why would it matter? So that's great to think that we've moved on that far, that everyone works together and no concerns about their religion.
Absolutely. And when you're on a day like this, you're wearing your sunglasses. We could be here in Hollywood, California.
Probably far better here. No, it's great. It's the interest in it and the guys you're working with. Everybody's superbly, real good. But it's a lot of hard work involved, a lot of hours involved, because you must have everything ready for the camera rolling, or you're out the door.
Absolutely.
Big boys.
Absolutely. Well, listen, it was great to meet you, and good luck. Good luck. Thanks. Now, outside of the building here, Tom, you were saying that you're going to build 2 new stages here. So where exactly are they going to be built here on the site?
Well, we're going to build the 2 new stages alongside our 4 existing cells on the waterfront side.
Okay.
They're not going to be connected directly to the stages. We're going to leave a gap of approximately 30 foot, which just allows for vehicles going up in between, and it's better for sound. If there's some distance between the different cells, you don't get any transfer of sound.
And will that allow you then to have like the big Hollywood blockbuster here inside the main studio, but then also allow you to have smaller productions then as well at the same time?
Absolutely, that'll give us enough space that we could do smaller productions, we could do a couple of large productions at the same time, or we could do large commercials. These are going to be 2 terrific stages. Each one's going to be approximately 24,000 foot square, and we're going to have large elephant doors in between the stages, which will, when opened up, will give us an overall stage which will be over 400 foot long, which is a great asset. It's great to be able to have a stage that long for some large productions, but it's also terrific to be able to close that space down if someone wants a smaller space.
Well, we're standing back outside the studio again here, just in the port of Belfast here. I mean, this is where obviously the ferry boats come in from Liverpool and from Scotland, and where the historic Harland Wolff shipyard was, where the Titanic and the Olympic were built. And it's actually a very beautiful vista when you're standing here looking around.
It's a beautiful vista. You look through the industrial cranes, warehouses, and in the background you've got the beautiful countryside, rolling hillsides. Today with the sun shining, it looks absolutely terrific.
And next year is obviously going to be a huge year for Belfast, 2012, with the centenary of the Titanic. I mean, and this whole area really will become part of the world kind of attention. There will be attention from all around the world for this area. So I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
We are looking forward to that, and looking forward to having the site, our new stage is finished, the site cleaned up a lot, and give the site a lot more look of permanency. At the moment, it's still, there's some areas of it are, because we're building all the time, there's a lot of porta cabins around, a lot of temporary spaces still, but as the year goes on, we'll build more permanent offices, some advertising and some marketing really, and improve the overall look of it and let people know that we're down here and we're down here to stay.
Well, it must be exciting for you, Tom, when when we talked earlier about these other film studios that have been around for 100 years, and here's you at the very start of something that you can build yourself, and you can be here to build something that will be here in 100 years' time.
It's very exciting to be part of it, yeah.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck with it. All us film lovers and film enthusiasts and filmmakers in Belfast want this all to succeed. So thank you so much for showing me around today.
Thanks very much, Brian. You're absolutely welcome.
Thank you.